Ezekiel 47 gives us a beautiful prophetic vision of restoration. Ezekiel sees water flowing from the temple, and as the angel leads him farther, the water becomes deeper and deeper, ankle-deep, knee-deep, waist-deep, and finally a river too deep to cross by walking. This vision was given to people who had experienced the loss of Jerusalem and the temple. They had seen what looked like the end of everything. But God showed Ezekiel a future of restoration. Wherever the river flowed, the waters became fresh, living creatures flourished, and trees grew along its banks. God was showing his people, what looks dead is not going to remain dead, I will bring restoration and life. The river represents God's life-giving presence flowing outward, the Dead Sea becomes living water, barren places become fruitful, desolation becomes restoration. God was reminding his people that his purposes were not finished. There is also a lesson in the increasing depth. Ezekiel was not simply standing beside the river watching it, he was being led farther into it. At ankle depth, he could still control his steps, but eventually the river became too deep to cross by walking, he had to depend upon the river. This gives us a spiritual lesson. God does not want us merely to stand at the edge and watch what he is doing, he wants us to go deeper with him. There comes a point when we must stop trying to control everything and learn to trust God's direction. Ezekiel's vision points forward to Revelation 22 verses 1-2, where John sees the river of the water of life flowing from the throne of God and of the Lamb. In Ezekiel, the river flows from the temple, in Revelation, it flows from God's throne. Ezekiel points toward restoration, while Revelation shows the ultimate restoration. In both visions, there is a river, trees, fruit, healing, and life. The Bible begins with humanity losing access to the tree of life in Genesis 3, and it ends with the tree of life beside the river in Revelation 22. God's story ends with complete restoration. So, what looks completely dead to us is not beyond God's ability to restore. A situation may look spiritually, emotionally, financially, relationally, or practically dead, but God can bring life where we see no possibility. True life flows from God, not from the things around us. So, don't remain at the edge of the river, don't merely watch or comment on what God is doing, go deeper with God. As we go deeper, we learn to trust him, depend on him, and allow his life to flow through us to others. The greatest blessing is God's presence. The book of Ezekiel ends with the words, "The Lord is there," Ezekiel 48:35. That is the greatest promise of all. Go deeper, trust his presence, let his life flow through you,